Hi, my name's Howie. Welcome back to the channel. Today we are looking at the Plus pedal from Gamechanger Audio. This thing is an absolute beast, so let's get into it. So today we're looking at the Plus pedal from Gamechanger Audio. I don't know if you've ever seen one of these before, but this thing is an absolute weapon. What is it? It's a sustain pedal, but it's not just any sort of sustain pedal. It is a pedal that uses real-time audio sampling, and it's kind of like a micro looper, I guess is what you call it. So you play your note, you push it down, and it will hold that note so that you can build these huge soundscapey, ambient type things using this pedal. It's an absolute beast, and I have had this for a fair while now, and it's not until recently that I've actually pulled it out and mucked around with it and got in depth with it. And I'm so glad I did, because I've fallen in love with this. So let's take a closer look at the Plus pedal. So when we look at the pedal, we've got our four knobs. We've got the blend. So this blends your wet and dry signal. If you want more wet, you turn it up. If you want more dry, you turn it down. And in the middle there is unison. Then we move across to our sustain pedal. And what this does is it affects the high-end frequencies, basically. So if you want to carve out a bit of space for melodic lines and things like that, you'll turn the sustain knob down to get rid of those high frequencies. And if you turn it all the way up, you'll have all of your high frequency. This also acts as a layer selector in the what's called group mode, so we can select how many layers we want to layer on top of each other if we're using this in group mode, which we will get into in a little bit. The rise is this one here, and what that does is determines the fade in time of the layer that you've recorded. So if you want it to go in straight away, be max volume of what you've set it at straight away, you'd have it rolled all the way to the left. And if you want it to fade in slower, you just roll that clockwise. Then we've got our tail. Now what the tail does is it will, essentially what it says on the box, it will affect, once you take your foot off the foot pedal, how long it tails out for, how long those notes tail out for. So they're our four main knobs on the front of the pedal. And obviously we've got our foot switch, like a piano. So one of the other really super cool things that I love about this pedal is it has its own effects loop on the side of the pedal here. So you can run an effects loop into this pedal which purely affects your wet signal only. So such things as choruses, tremolos, delays, reverbs, all that sort of stuff. You can build an effects loop, run it straight into the pedal, and it will only affect the wet signal coming from the pedal. Perfect for that spacey, ambient, soundscapey type sound. If that's what you're going for, this is a game changer from Gamechanger Audio. So on the side of the pedal here, just above the effects loop send and return, we have a couple of switches. The first one is single and group. When we set it to single, it's gonna sustain the most recent note that you've played, while the last one fades out according to what you've set for your tail on the front of the pedal here. If we flick it over to group mode, we can do up to 5 layers at once, and the way that we control how many layers we can do at once is by using this sustain knob that I mentioned earlier. So you can do up to 5 layers at one time in the group setting, which is pretty cool if you want to build something up with this pedal. So a pretty cool idea, and super useful for soundscapey type stuff on the fly. So the other switch on the side of this pedal is the split mix switch. And what that does is when we have it in mix, we're getting both the wet and the dry signal coming from the output of the pedal. If we put it into split mode, we are only going to be getting the wet signal. Now we have a dual purpose jack on the back here. This will just produce a dry signal only, and it also acts as a jack for the wet only foot switch that you can get to accompany this pedal. So there is a lot to this pedal, and I'm going to try and do the best I can with the examples, because if I was to do every sort of mode and everything with this pedal, this video would be about 20 hours long. So yeah, we're going to get into some examples, and I'm going to show you what this sounds like. So that's the Plus pedal from Gamechanger Audio. As you can see, an absolute ripper of a pedal if you want to get that soundscapey ambient type thing going on the fly. I'm in love with it at the moment, and I am going to be using it flat out. So thank you so much for watching the video. If you did want to pick one of these things up, I do have a link in my description. It's an affiliate link, so it doesn't cost you anything, but it does really help me out if you do want to get your hands on one. If you don't, no stress at all. I really hope you've enjoyed the video, and if you did, please leave a comment, a like, subscribe to the channel, and I will catch you next time.